everyone, what is going on? So today I want to be talking more so about congruency to the person you want to become, because most people dive into the entrepreneurship space and they expect to hit their objective, whether it may be 5K a month or 10K a month, being the same person with the same habits, with the same day-to-day lifestyle, and that just doesn't work, right? And I think like it's one of the biggest pitfalls that starting, and including myself, entrepreneurs make. I've definitely made this mistake at the start where I was still playing video games, being lazy, being inconsistent, and just not really working objectively towards like what I wanted to achieve back then. And really what I'm noticing a lot is people have this burst of motivation for a day, when they, like, for instance, invest into themselves and they feel good about themselves, right? Which is awesome. They just invest into themselves, which is great, what most people don't do. But then after a day, they just revert back into the same old person because of, number one, their environment, right? With a certain environment, there have been like certain engravements into their way of doing, essentially, right? So when I was back home, whenever I got home, the first thing I did was play video games, right? But in that same place, I also wanted to start a business, right? And it was in my bedroom. So there's actually so much confusion going on with the old self and new self, because basically you have this identity, and certain way of habits and rituals and routines ingrained into your, into your system, essentially. And you really have to become congruent with the person you want to become that, would actually make six figures, right? So a person, for instance, that has a good morning routine, that, reads books, that is a keen learner, that, actually steps out of his comfort zone and does outreach, to business owners. So, like client acquisition. And, the person that hops on sales appointments and is open to feedback and is open-minded to improve, right? And most people, unfortunately, don't have these qualities right from the get-go, nor did I. But you have to be open in order to, like, actually make the transformation and be consistent with it, right? Because it is super easy to refer back into the person you are and really hard to become congruent with the person you want to become, right? And I feel like this is the root of why most people don't succeed. Like, you can know every business strategy out there in the marketplace, right? But if you are the same person, like being broke, trying to make six figures with the same mindset, being not open to feedback, I think like this really varies from individual to individual. It's just not gonna work, right? So here's some actionable steps you can take instead of like me just talking about like what's not working, and that you can take today, right? So this is what I did yesterday with a new student that took on, because like he's actually dealing with this issue, right? And he's really transparent about it, where he's lazy and just not congruent with the person he should become, right? So what we did, we came up with the idea of laying something on the line to sacrifice if he refers back to, like his old self, right? Referring back to old habits, old rituals, etc., etc. And we're still figuring out what that is going to be, right? Because he still goes to school, he still lives with his parents, and it is so easy to stay in that comfort zone, right? So we need to like give him a healthy pressurization to ensure he doesn't refer back to his old habits. So find something that you can lay on the line and throw in the fire to kind of like hurt yourself and create like that good pressure, so you're forced to become congruent with the person you want to become. And also paint a clear picture of who you want to become and who you want to achieve. So change your character and make it congruent to the objective that a character is able to achieve. All right, that's what you should do. And I think like that is something you really need to sit down for and think about, right? Because when I ask most people, like, what kind of person do you want to become and what exactly do you want to achieve within the next 3 years? Like they just say, right, and nothing wrong with it, but they just say, I never thought about that, And it's something you really need to give some thought instead of like living the day-to-day lifestyle, and that's why people, well, I think there's a lot of reasons why people don't succeed, right? But I think like this is one of the biggest pitfalls that I have witnessed with a lot of like entrepreneurs, people I've coached, and that's why I really love talking about mindset and why it's the absolute root of everything, instead of just like the best outreach method or the best sales script, because like it's not like that's not the root of your success, okay? Like it's really I guess another thing to mention, a lot of people determine success by the financial return on investments they make for themselves, instead of the mindset they craft through like the pain they go through the transformation they go through, like from old self to new self, the network they build, the new things they learn, the better they get at sales, certain skill sets they have to become like a full stack entrepreneur. So guys, just remember, this really starts with completely you as an individual transforming and improving variables, so just like your skill set as an entrepreneur, and really the compoundment and improvement of all these things will lead to you being successful in the financial side of things. And this is something that you probably won't find on the internet anywhere, like this kind of information. And I think like this won't interest a lot of people either, because they are still looking for the best outreach method. I think like this is a complete BS. But really, you're listening to someone who's making 40K a month, and like I'm heading for 7 figures, and I can tell you what really sets me apart from short-term 6-figure entrepreneurs is my mindset and working objectively and just minimizing the links I play in my own business and knowing exactly what my priorities are, right? And focusing on customers. This is like just a lot that goes into it. So yeah, guys, hope this video was of value to you. Just wanted to drop, something different instead of just a business strategy, some business value, which I will still do. But I think like this is even more important than that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.